How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Broadcasting live from your location today.
Are you really?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
You got too much TV and see it.
What is this, Facebook?
No, it's YouTube.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
You're on the broadcast right now.
I didn't mean to cut into your shot.
No. We're here with the owner of Torchlight Academy. Let's get started. No, I'm just kidding. We'll do that later.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so let me know when you're ready.
Okay,
Your students could be doing all of this right now.
yeah, that would be very good.
Yes, it will be. Are you coming to our Healthy Communities Walk Breakfast? October 8th.
No idea.
Yes, that's on Shaw's campus.
Oh, okay.
Let me give you
I
a...
certainly need to, and then we'll put it out amongst our parents. Yeah. Healthy community. We definitely need that.
Yeah, we do. Have a seat. I'll be right back.
As always, get our place here. Like one of our board members help us keep this thing going. Right.
Yes, ma'am. Where did the young lady go?
Good evening, everybody. Oh, it's not that late. Good evening, everybody. A few things. First and foremost, well, welcome. First and foremost, if I can get you to silence your cell phones, that'd be great.
Okay.
If anyone needs to go to the restroom, at the entrance here on the left. Get a little bit of feedback. Thank you. And lastly, since we're all family, if I can get everyone to move up closer, I promise you don't bite, that would be great. So come on. Come on to the front. Y'all okay on the left side?
Okay.
Oh, no, that might not be. Oh, yeah, that was it.
All right, let's take everyone's on camera. Welcome. My name is Dr. Bobby Banks. I am the president and CEO of Pillar Consulting that is based here in the Raleigh-Durham area. I'm more than excited to be here to welcome you on behalf of the S.G. Fuller and Joel Dudley Foundation for the first in the Raleigh-Durham area Fuller and Dudley Mastermind Business Group meeting. So give yourself a hand for that. I was just in DC this past weekend with the museum opening and, all of this history happening. And you guys are right on the cusp, right on the end. So you're here at the beginning of history in the Raleigh-Durham area with the Mastermind meeting. So we're more than excited to have you here tonight. I would like to first and foremost acknowledge and recognize Dr. Joel Dudley Sr. So if you all could stand and give him a round of applause, that would be great. I'd also like to recognize Mr. Emilio or Tony Guevara, who is the president and CEO of the Joel Dudley Senior Foundation. Please stand up and give him a round of applause. And last but not least, this isn't on my script, but Jimmy Davies is is actually organizing and running the meetings here in Raleigh-Durham, so if he could also acknowledge him by standing with him. A few other wonderful people we have in the room that I'd like to acknowledge, the first of which is Clarinda Stanley Anderson from Shaw University. You're from Shaw, but you're not Clarinda? All right, thank you, Shaw. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Dr. Gaddis Falcon from St. Augustine's University. Minister Aman Muhammad from the Nation of Islam. And Mr. Donnie and Dr. McQueen, the owners of Torchlight Academy that we're here today. Thank you so much for having us. Any other public officials that we have in the audience that I should acknowledge? Okay. As we are in the age of social media, as you are taking pictures, if you could use the hashtag Fuller Dudley RDU, that'd be great. That's another great way to network with other people in the room. You can also check in here at the Torchlight Academy. I'm sure that'd be great for people. I see her grinning. Yes, please check in at the Torchlight Academy as well. So some of you may be wondering what this meeting is. It's actually been happening for about 80 years, and it started by a man by the name of S.B. Fuller, who was born in 1905 in Louisiana, lived in Memphis, and ended up moving to Chicago to escape masterism. He started the company with only $25 and grew it into a business that made $18 million annually. One of the things that he did was hold meetings just like this to mentor young people, including John H. Johnson of Ebony and Jet, George Johnson of Johnson Products, and thousands of others, including Mr. Joe Dudley here today, or Dr. Joe Dudley, I should say. So one promise that he made to Mr. Fuller was to carry on these weekly meetings to bring together the brightest African-American men and women to share the best business practices, concepts, strategies, and insights to reach Mr. Fuller's goal of creating 220 millionaires. Is that you? Is there one in the room? And as you know, I'm sure many of you have used Dudley products. He's built a very strong legacy, one of the largest hair care businesses in the world with revenues of $36 million annually. Yeah, that's why we stood and gave him a round of applause. So these meetings are held every Monday, rain or shine, sleet. One person, 0 people, 20 people, 25 people, 400 people. These meetings will be held every Monday. They've taken on new life as Tony Guevara, Mr. Guevara has taken over the leadership of the group. And they've all promised to move Mr. Fuller's vision forward of continuing to create this space for African-American women and men to thrive as business owners. Mr. Guevara actually started as a mentee of Mr. Dudley when he was at the young age of 19, about 2 years ago, and began his career. As I said, he currently serves as the president and CEO of the S.B. Fuller and Dudley Foundation, one of the only entrepreneurial economic development organizations dedicated to African-American community. So during a normal meeting, what would happen? We would read and discuss books, have conversations about it, invite local businessmen and women from the community to speak to others in the room, and then it's also an opportunity for all of us to network. But tonight's different, as this is the inaugural event, and we're celebrating, and we're so excited about it. It's going to be very different. You're going to have an opportunity to meet the faces in front of and behind the scenes. So I would like to now bring forward Mr. Tony Guevara, who's the CEO of the S.B. Fuller and Joe Dudley Foundation, to talk more about the foundation, the Mastermind groups, the Dudley Entrepreneurship Museum, and the Fuller and Dudley Institute of Entrepreneurship. Can you give them a hand?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's truly a pleasure to be here this evening for this momentous occasion for us. It's really special, and I'm really thankful that you all came out to share it with us. We have really been looking forward to this moment to be able to have the community of the Raleigh-Durham area to share in the goals and aspirations that we have set to help make a difference in the economic environment of Black America. I think that with a lot of things that we see happening, I am excited about what we're doing to help make a difference. As Dr. Bobby Banks said, I started with Dudley Products at the age of 19 years old. I met Mr. Dudley when I was 18. And I was living in New York City. I was living in the South Bronx. How many New Yorkers here do we have here?
Brooklyn.
Yeah. All right, yeah, I was born in Brooklyn, raised in the South Bronx. I tell people we made a lateral move from Brooklyn to the South Bronx. Same thing, you know, one hood to the other, you know. And you know, I had the opportunity to meet Mr. Dudley via a gentleman who Mr. Dudley had also mentored, Stan Anderson out in New York City, who was working for Dudley Products. And we had the chance to have a conversation, and in that conversation it came up about Mr. Fuller. And talking about Mr. Fuller, he said, you know, Mr. Fuller, he said, that's the man who mentored my mentor. I said, well, I want to meet this man, you know. And at the age of 18, I asked him, I said, you know, could you share with Mr. Dudley that I would love to get the opportunity to meet him and get a chance to talk with him, because we didn't have people like Mr. Dudley in my neighborhood, you understand? And we didn't have people like him that were out in the community sharing with young men like myself a way of going, a different way of being able to make a living, a different way of seeing things, a different perception. We didn't have that. But anyway, Mr. Dudley came to town one day, and my cousin Stan Anderson said, you know what, Mr. Dudley wants to get a chance to talk to you. I said, all right, okay. I went down to Brooklyn on Nostrand Avenue.
All right.
And there he was, the man himself, you know, Dr. Joel Dudley Sr. And here I was, an 18-year-old young man, you know, and he sat down with me. Mr. Dudley sat down and talked to me for about an hour. You know, a man who's busy, who was running, you know, probably out at that time at least 7 or 8 different companies. But he took the time out to sit with me, to share with me, you know, what my life could be like if I made a decision, you know, to follow, to listen. You know, and I'll never forget, he told me, he asked me, what did I want to become? And he said, Tony, he said, what Black America needs more is more Black business leaders. He said, you follow me and I'll show you how to become one. And six months later, after I graduated from high school, Mr. Dudley sent me a plane ticket, and I was in Greensboro, North Carolina, you know, on a mission to learn how to become a successful Black business leader. You know, here I am now, you know, the president and CEO of the S.B. Fuller and Joel Dudley Senior Foundation. It's been a fantastic journey, a learning journey. You know, when you think about so many young Black males that I think about came about during the same time I came up in Brooklyn and the South Bronx and other parts of New York City and other parts of the country that didn't get that chance. Didn't get a chance to have a Dr. Joel Dudley who was doing $35 million a year to sit down with them and share with them how they too can make it. What if we had thousands of Dr. Joel Dudley Seniors that would sit down with young men like myself and young women and share with them how they too can become successful? What if? That's the question, right? That's a good question, isn't it? You know, I was having a conversation with somebody the other day that, you know, at the end of the day, when you really think about it, out of all the aspects that can help change our community, the one that we believe to be the true answer to changing the trajectory of what's taking place in our community is economics. I mean, we can look at everything else that we want to. If you want to be a politician, when you walk in this door, you're a politician and you look and you want to get reelected. I don't care how good you are, I don't care how good you sound. If you ain't got no money, you can't get elected. Right? You know? You need money to campaign. Am I right? You know? So it doesn't matter what it is that you want to do. It doesn't matter what it is. At the end of the day, what supports any organization is economics. A church, if a church has a flock, a congregation, and half of the workers work at one plant and they shut the plant down, what happens? Going under, right? Why? Economics. You look at any community, take out the, what happens to the community? It dies. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Fuller taught us, and I would encourage every one of you, if you can, to get that book, Mr. Fuller's book, Pioneer of Black Economic Empowerment, S.B. Fuller. I think that we have some here, Jimmy. We have some in the back later. But I encourage you to read that book. This was a man that during segregation, was doing $18 million a year and ran anywhere between 9 and 13 corporations at one time. A black man. Yes, he did. He looked just like you and me. This was when, you all understand what I'm talking about when I say during desegregation, right? Yes, sir. Some of the young people here don't even know much about that these days. But this was a time when you couldn't go to places that were not, it didn't say it was white only, had white only, had black only. But yet, this man built an $18 million a year business. But more than that, he had 6,000 people working for him during desegregation. More than that, 500 of them were white. That was Mr. S.B. Fuller. Built this company, employed our own people, owned the only block, a full block in Chicago. That was a full-scale department store, just a Macy's or anything like that. Black man. Regal Theater, owned the theater just like the Apollo in New York. Go to settings. Mr. Fuller there. All this during desegregation during the 1950s. And so we asked ourselves the question, what happened? How is it that a black man during desegregation could do all that, and now we have a hard time thinking about going into business? Right? But thank God that there were some disciples that followed in his footsteps. Most of you know who Johnny Johnson is, right? Ebony Jet magazine. Okay? He was a disciple of Mr. Fuller's. George Johnson of Johnson Products, Johnson Hair Products, Haircare Products. He was a disciple of Mr. Fuller. And so many others. Rick McGuire, Seaway Furniture, disciple. And then we have our own Dr. Joel Dudley Sr., a disciple of Mr. S.B. Fuller. And you think about it, for nearly 80 years, we've had these meetings like Dr. Bobby Banks said, nearly 80 years. And every Monday night in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, we gather just like this. Business people from all around the community. Close to 100 every Monday night. On May the 20th of this year, we had a special edition, and we had 1,000 entrepreneurs and would-be entrepreneurs that came out. And every Monday night, we have 100 business people that Mr. Dudley brings together. That we bring together to talk to. Here he sits here, 79 years old, looking like he's 29. You know? And he doesn't charge anybody a dime, not a dime, to come to these meetings, to talk about business, to be mentored in business, to learn about business. Not a dime. And we started it in his home. He would invite people to his home on 9 acres of land. And we would come there and we would meet. And we wouldn't charge anybody a dime, and then fed everybody. That man right there, you see, that's what he would do. That's what he would do. Well, when I started, I came back after 20 years because I told Mr. Dudley, I said, you know, after all that you did for me, but when Mr. Fuller did for me, you saved my life. And so I'm coming back to make sure that the world knows about this philosophy. Because I believe when much is given, much is required. But this is what he has done. I felt that it was important that you know the foundation of why it is that we're doing what we're doing. And I'm going to share a few more things with you with this PowerPoint, but it's important that we all understand what is this really about. This is a movement for us. This is an economic movement. We plan on opening 500 of these all over this nation and other parts of the world. You see, the thing about it is this. We can blame white folks for a lot of things, if you want to. But you can't blame, but we don't have to ask nobody for permission to come together for a collaborative effort. Stops us from doing that. See? This decision that every single one of you made to come here tonight, it was a decision that this country gives us and allows us the freedom to be able to do so. Right? And I believe that all of you are here for one reason. You believe in this economic movement. Am I right?
Yeah, I'm moving on.
And so I'm going to share with you what we are, who we are, what we're about. I want you to get a chance to see what it is that we're doing, because we would love for you to be a part of this. We would love for you to be able to have the opportunity to engage in some of the activities and some of the things that we're doing, because we are bent on changing this world. And we don't believe that we have to ask nobody permission to do that. God gave us the one gift that he didn't give you nothing else. He gave us the most powerful gift that he could give any man, any living man or woman. It was the gift of imagination. You don't have to ask permission to nobody to imagine anything that you want to imagine. Now, if we don't understand that that's power, to ask, and it shall be given. To ask, you have to imagine it before you can even ask. Right? Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and the door shall be open. My. That's the God that I serve. I believe it's the same God you serve, right? I don't know. You don't sound too excited about that. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Imagination is the greatest gift that God gave us. Mr. Fuller took $25, went out and bought some soap, carved off. It was some what we would call outlet store soap these days. Bought the soap, carved off the name of the soap, and wrote his name on it, and went out and sold it door to door. And built an $18 million a year corporation. I call that $25 plus a dose of imagination. Mr. Dudley went out, went to beauty salons, where they got old containers that they were already using, took them back home, washed them out, cooked up a recipe, filled the jars up, closed them up, put his own label, went back out, sold them door to door too. And he started under Mr. Fuller going door to door, $10. He bought a $10 kit, plus a dose of imagination, and built a $35 million a year business. That's why we created what we call the S.P. Fuller Joel W. Foundation. Why did we create this? You see, if you look at other groups of people, they form organizations to promote economics. We have formed this foundation to promote capitalism and to promote entrepreneurship. This is why we formed this. See, these other, you may not like them. You heard them, some like the Koch brothers, right?
Yeah.
And I know you hear the stories and all things, but they have what they call their Koch business side. And everybody here, at some point or another, has bought a product from Koch, even though you don't like them. And then they have what they call the Koch Foundation. What does the Koch Foundation do? They promote capitalism in their way, the way they want to promote it, however they see fit to promote it. Right? What do? They take their money, they get other people's money that believe like they believe, they take that money and they push their agenda. Who gives them the right to do that? These United States of America that you're sitting there right now. We don't have one entity, not one, well, we have one now. We didn't have not one entity where we could push an economic agenda. Oh, we have some that can talk about it. But this one, we're being about it. It's that time now. It's time for us to be able to communicate, to be able to coordinate, and be able to cooperate. Without communication, you have no coordination. Without coordination, you have no cooperation. Without cooperation, you have no power. This is what Ms. Fuller taught us. This is what Mr. Dudley taught us. So I'm going to read to you what the S.B. Fuller and George W. Foundation exists for the purpose of educating African Americans about the virtues of capitalism and the positive effect of entrepreneurship as a vehicle for economic empowerment in our community. Empower and enlighten through the presenting, preserving, and celebration of the accomplishments and legacy of past and current successful African American entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs of African descent. Now, how powerful is that, right? Okay. Now, how are we going to do that? We're going to build what we call the Fuller and Dudley Entrepreneurship Museum. We're going to build an entrepreneurship museum. and honor the legacy of Mr. S.P. Fuller and Dr. Joel Dudley. Now, why? So often, our Black business leaders, they come, they make a significant contribution to our economy, to our communities, they pass on, and we forget all about them. You know, we've had many young people sit in our meetings, and we'll ask them, do you know who John H. Johnson is? And we'll ask adults too, and guess what? They won't know. We'll ask them, do you know who George Johnson is? They don't know. We'll ask them, do you know who Reginald Lewis is? Well, let me ask you, how many of you know who John H. Johnson is? You know, some of you got your hand halfway here, but you're not quite sure. How many of you know George Johnson? How many of you have heard of Reginald Lewis? How many of you heard of A.G. Gaston? Okay. And see, so you see what I'm talking about, right? A.G. Gaston was another man, another Black man out of Birmingham, Alabama. When all the stuff was going on through with civil rights, it was A.G. Gaston who went and got Dr. King out of jail. It was A.G. Gaston who, during desegregation, who was also building the multi-billion-dollar corporation. But most of us don't know that. See, we don't know the real history of what Black business has even meant to the civil rights movement. We don't even know that part of it. Any movement that you have, there's one thing that you gotta have in order for movement to move forward. And what is that? You gotta have money. And these great men made a tremendous contribution to this, but we don't know it. There's another man, T.R.M. Howard, who worked with Mr. S.B. Fuller, made a significant contribution as a businessman to the civil rights cause. Most of us don't know that if it hadn't been for T.R.M. Howard, you wouldn't even know about MIT. Did you know that? You know that, did you? What I'm saying is that this is why we're doing what we're doing. Because that part of history we have to know. Without economics, there's nothing. And this is why we're building this museum, because we want your kids, we want our kids, we want them to be able to walk through a museum where they can see Black business leaders, men and women that have changed the landscape of the economic map. And be able to know that if they can do it, what? They can do it too. So we want individuals from all over the world to come and learn the Dudley and Fuller, the Fuller and Dudley business and life philosophy. We want high school students and college students to learn the importance of entrepreneurship as a great alternative to making a contribution to their community and to the world. Okay? They have to know that. See, we have to teach our young people to have the courage to start their own businesses. We want them to become job makers, not job takers. Not just job takers. We want them to become job makers. We want them to understand that, as Mr. Fuller said, every man is born with a spark of divinity. But it's up to that man or woman to fan that spark. We want visitors to participate in lectures by Joel Dudley and other business leaders that were influenced by S.B. Fuller and Joel Dudley Sr. and are now truly successful. We want visitors to physically experience the voice of S.B. Fuller, Joel Dudley, and other business leaders teaching about business and life. We look forward to having business leaders like Mr. Dudley and others of his counterparts to be able to teach our people about how to become successful in business. We want an opportunity for other organizations and institutes of higher learning to I see the number of millionaires created by entrepreneurship. See, we want our young people to understand one thing. If you can't sing like I can, you don't want me to do that right now. I went through that to Jimmy. It was so hard to get these people here. I start singing, they're gonna leave. You know? We want them to know if you can't be, if you're not gifted as an athlete, it doesn't mean that you have to resort to other things in order to become a successful entrepreneur. But see, first you gotta have the visual. You gotta be able to show our young people that there are Black business leaders that have become millionaires and multimillionaires doing business. And that if they can do it, if they can see a Joel Dudley like I did, that they can do the same thing too. How important is that? We want visitors to view the display. We're going to call it the Walking by Faith Walk of Fame. Pictures of individuals that have become very successful through the influence of S.B. Fuller, Joel Dudley Sr., and other business leaders. And are part of the 200 millionaire goal set by Mr. Fuller and adopted by Joel Dudley Sr. And every single one of you, if you're a business person here and you become a millionaire, you have an opportunity to be on that walk of fame. How about that? Huh? We want an opportunity for visitors to view the display of other successful Black business leaders of yesterday and today. See, it's a shame that Reginald Lewis, who built the first billion-dollar company in America, you was drinking Tropicana orange juice at that time and he owned it. And you didn't even know it. It's a shame that if I was to walk on any college campus right now and I asked them about these Black business leaders, they wouldn't know nothing about them. That's a shame. We have to change that. We have to change that. That's why we're going to be doing certain things to make a difference in that. That's what we plan on giving 100,000 S.B. Fuller books to 100,000 HBCU students at 100 HBCUs. Because we have to take initiative. We have to take the initiative to help change the mindsets of our young people. We're going to help you too. But just in case you're too slow, we're going to work with the young people. Just in case y'all don't get it. I'm just kidding. But no, we are really serious about this mission. Now imagine that. 100,000 young people learning about the story of a Black man. A Black man that built the $18 million corporation when he was doing desegregation. To learn about Dr. Joel Dudley Sr., a man who was labeled mentally retarded and took $10 and built it into a multi-million-dollar corporation. Black man. When you have Black women like Madam C.J. Walker, who in 1911 was already living in $1 million home. Black woman. These young girls don't know nothing about that. These young men don't know anything about that. You know why they don't know? Because we don't know. How can you teach what you don't know? How can you share what you don't know? Whose fault is it that they don't know? It's ours. We can't blame nobody for that. You can't blame white folks for that. You can't blame nobody for that. You see, we believe that God gave all of us the same equal mind to create. He gave us the power to create anything that we want to create. That's what we believe. And we want our young people to understand that. That he gave them no less than he gave anybody else. He gave us no less than he gave anybody else. This is what Mr. Fuller believed. This is what Mr. Dudley believed. And it's what I believe. And that is the way I believe that we believe that we're going to make a change. Is the way that we believe we're going to make a difference. Is that we have to educate our people. This is what we're doing. We're going to educate our people. We're going to collaborate. And we're going to do business together. We're going to do business with one another. That's why we have our chapter, our home-based chapter. That's what we established in this chapter here. And we're going to do 498 more.
Yeah, right.
Now, what does that mean to you? You see, if you have 100 to 200 people meeting every Monday night, learning, sharing, cooperating, and doing business with each other, you can have all the customers that you need to build anything. You see? You're talking about doing business here, taking your business to any one of the other chapters and doing business there. You can grow your company from one place to another with a network like this. And we don't have to ask nobody permission to do that. Isn't that a great thing? And we want the community to be inspired by viewing business documentaries of various Black business leaders throughout our history. I went to the Hershey Museum in Hershey, Pennsylvania, not long ago. Have you ever been to the Hershey Museum in Pennsylvania? Okay. So you can relate to what I'm gonna say. When you went to the Hershey Museum, I mean, you're talking about, if you went there, how many of you have had a Hershey bar or any Hershey candy sometime? Yeah, right? Okay. Now, when you go to Hershey, Pennsylvania, you would think that Milton S. Hershey's still alive. Am I right?
Absolutely.
The way they celebrate that man, you would think that he's still around the corner somewhere. They are keeping his legacy alive. And I'm sure those of you that went, like when I went, there was only one other family like looking like me, and we raised hands across the way. The rest of the people in there were getting educated on business and didn't look nothing like us. You saw the kids sitting down watching the documentaries on Milton S. Hershey. And then they showed them how he made the chocolate bars and showed them the whole business. Am I right? Tell me a museum that's dedicated to a Black man in business like that in this country. Nowhere. That is inspirational. Because when those kids go there, they leave saying, Daddy and Mommy, I want to be a businessman or a businesswoman too. It's about changing mindsets. It's about changing mindsets. So if we want those students, whether in high school or college, to understand that you have the power to go out and build something that can help you and make a contribution to the society by learning how to employ others. Job makers. Job makers. Build something.
That's right.
Hmm?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Build something. It's all right if you fail early.
That's right.
It's all right, nothing wrong with failure. See, we have created a situation where people are afraid to fail. And so these young people don't want to take chances because we make them feel bad for being a failure. But you can't succeed unless you fail. You know, in Silicon Valley now, most of those investors will tell you, we're not giving you any money unless you failed at least 3 times already.
That's right.
See, Mr. Dudley had me go door to door. I was knocking doors in Woodmere Park in Greensboro, North Carolina. See, you learn failure there. You knock on them doors, and they slam that door, you failed that time, baby. But he taught you how to go back, knock on the next door. 723 doors is what I knocked on in Woodmere Park. Rain, cold, sleet, didn't matter. And I did it in a suit, just like this, every day. It taught me character. Taught me how to never quit. Failure is necessary in order for you to succeed. Some of us are afraid of the wrong things. We're afraid to lose a car, afraid to lose a house. You don't even own the house. I'm gonna tell you like my mother told me. I got excited. I was buying a $250,000 home. I said, Mama, get ready to buy a home. She said, you are? She said, she started laughing at me. My mom is about 85 now. This was about when she was in her 70s. She said, she started laughing. I said, what you laughing? Why you laughing, Mom? She said, well, you ain't buying that house. You got your 30-year lease. See, my parents come from Honduras, Central America. When you say you own a house, you actually own the house, but you have to pay for it in full.
That's right.
So we're afraid to lose what we don't even own. You never thought about it like that, did you? And so we're afraid to take on our chance, take these chances. But capitalism is the only true pathway to freedom. It's the only true pathway to freedom. That's why we're doing what we're doing, Jimmy. And then we're going to build what we call, within the museum, we're going to put what we call the Full and Dudley Institute of Entrepreneurship. Now, this Institute of Entrepreneurship is not going to be teaching you business in the normal ways. This ain't going to be the Chamber of Commerce where you're going to give you 10 steps to success. Here, we're going to really teach you what it takes to be successful in what? Business. So what are we going to do? We're going to teach you how to successfully start or grow a business. We're going to teach you the importance and relevance of what? Faith. See, too many of us, we go into business, when that money's running out, we ready to just, we give up. We go to church, and we clap, and we say that we have faith, and as soon as we get into a little trouble,
That's right.
that faith don't work no more.
That's right. Wow. Need bird faith.
Yeah. So we are talking about teaching the importance and relevance of faith. We want you to learn how the founders of Fuller Products and Dudley Products created and built multi-million-dollar companies from scratch. We want you to teach you how to turn your business into a million-dollar business by correctly applying the principles of success. See, the thing about it is this. Why is this important? I don't know why you came here tonight, and I don't know if this is what you expected to get, but the one thing I want you to understand about our Monday night meetings, you may not hear what you want to hear, but you're going to hear the truth, though.
All right.
Because we believe that the truth will set you free. We don't need nobody to tell us what we want to hear no more. We need to hear the truth. So why is this important? Why is it that it's important that we learn these principles to correctly apply the personal success? Because this is the truth right here. Most of us here in this room did not grow up sitting at a dinner table with our parents talking about business. So it's not part of our what? DNA. Whether you want to admit it or not, that plays a role. Right? It's no different if you grew up in a family where both your parents went to college. What's expected? What are you talking about at the dinner table? So it's automatic, right? Well, we don't do that in business. We've never done it for the most part. So you didn't grow up in the dinner table hearing about spreadsheets and profit and loss statements and balances, and we didn't hear nothing about that. So when you go into business on your own without any kind of background in business, you run into walls. And you don't know how to grow a business. So what most of us end up being is not business people, we end up being hustlers.
Take your time, bro. Take your time.
See?
Come on.
Not because that's what you want to be,
That's right.
but because you don't know any better. And you don't have access to the people that can truly help you, because if you went knocking on their doors, they wouldn't open the doors for you. Or so you think, but you ain't never asked.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? If we're going to be great at business, first you have to acknowledge that you don't know. It's not part of our DNA. But we can change that though.
That's right.
How do you change that? You change that through the principle of Mastermind. You come here every Monday night and you collaborate. You begin to create a family type of spirit. It's spiritual. And you begin to network and work together with the intent, with the right intent. You start to see yourself as a family. If you build it up as a family, you begin to treat each other as what? Family.
Right.
You want to see your brother and sister do better.
Okay.
So what you don't know, they can share. What you know, you can share. And that's how you begin to grow and to build. You have to collaborate. Where there is no communication, there is no cooperation. Where there is no cooperation, there is no coordination. And where there's no coordination, there is no power.
That's right. All right.
You want power? That's what you're going to have to do. But first, you have to acknowledge that you don't know. And this is the only answer. This meeting right here, every Monday night, you're going to have to discipline. We have to discipline ourselves to make it a part of what we do. Discipline. That's what Mr. Fuller taught us. Regimentation was Mr. Fuller's favorite word, wasn't it, Mr. Dudley? You have to be regimented. Doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. Tough. It's going to be easy to make excuses. But if you want to be successful, our goal is anybody that's part of this S.B. Fuller and Joel Dudley Mastermind Business Group. If you are a business person and you part of this family, our goal, our desire is that you become successful. We're not doing this for us. We are doing it for you. See, it's a waste of time if you don't become successful. It's a clear waste of time. If you can't succeed by us providing you with the tools and the education, but you got to be present to get it. But we are determined. We are determined to build some successful Black business people.
Yes. Right. Yes. Yes. Yes.
And I'm not talking about self-employed. That's one. We need individuals that will build enterprises.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
That will build empires.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Husbandmen
That's right.
that will build empires to hire others.
That's right.
That will be able to feed their families because you use your God-given gift. We want to build hunters in here.
What? That's right.
Hunters. You can't be afraid to hunt.
That's right.
Can't be just comfortable eating from the hunter's plate.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, sir.
We got to be able to learn to be hunters ourselves.
Yes, sir.
See, wake up in the morning. You really want to meet God? Become an entrepreneur.
That's right.
When you wake up in the morning, ain't no president, vice president, manager, assistant manager. Ain't nobody for you to go complain about your check ain't being right. When you wake up in the morning, it's just you and God, baby. Just you two. God, what we gonna do today? That's it. And see, you gotta understand one thing. That man that you getting up every morning to go work for, that's what he does every day too. And you can't tell me that he can pray better than you.
Oh, wow. Go ahead. Well,
It's the same God that serves him. Serves you. There's only one difference. He believes in his.
wow. Say it again, brother. Oh. Let's sing.
One difference. That man, he believes in his God.
Yes.
That's
See, faith is a substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not seen. But you see, it didn't say that you couldn't see it in your mind.
That's right.
It said not seen physically.
That's right. Give him the blueprint. Oh, yeah.
Hmm?
Yes, sir. Go ahead on.
Didn't say you couldn't see it up here.
That's right.
So we got to really rethink how we see things. This is why we exist. That's why we're going to have 10,000
Wow.
at the Lawrence Joe Coliseum in Winston-Salem. So we're going to educate some people. We got 1,000 in May. We started this foundation. Somebody asked, what's your budget? Well, how about -0? We ain't got no budget. But I tell you what, our Father, he's wealthy as hell. We ain't worried about that. We just going to work. God said, go out in my vineyard, work and do what's right. I got you. I'll pay you. We went to work. And we had 1,000 people there. We had all our ambassadors, all these people you see here, they all stood up, rose to the occasion. We had close to 500 people at the gala. And Minister Farrakhan came out to speak to us, to be able to be with his friend, Dr. Joel Dudley Sr. here. Didn't charge us a dime and brought his whole entourage with him. Not one penny. Minister Farrakhan charged us. Dr. Jackie Mayfield, rich man, multimillionaire, out of Beaumont, Texas, owns the only tax preparation, National Tax Preparation Service in this nation, equivalent to H.R. Block or Jackson Hewitt. Only black man, friend of Mr. Dudley's, came to celebrate Mr. Dudley's birthday with him. Then charged a dime. Charlie Scott, another multi-millionaire out of Baltimore, Maryland, Virginia. Friend of Mr. Dudley's, came, then charges a dime. Ms. Deborah Barlett, woman, media mogul out of the Bahamas, came, then charges a dime. And they fed those people.
Yes, they did.
They so excited, they want to come back for the 10,000. And we're taking this on a tour. We're going to 20 cities. After the May event, on May 20th of 2017, for Ms. Dudley's 80th birthday, we're going on a 20-city tour across this nation to speak and talk about this philosophy of Black economic empowerment. Is this exciting to you?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. But as we said, and then we have what we call the Fuller and Dudley Mastermind Business Group Meeting and Expo, which is what you're part of right now. We're going to have 500 chapters of this. Now, what does that translate to? You're talking about at 100 to 200 people per chapter. You're talking about anywhere between 50,000 to 100,000 business people. And then we're going to have these HBCUs when we want those young students to form their own group and live stream in to what we talking about so we can continue to influence their minds. We don't change the world. And I'm not talking about no figurative sense. I'm talking literally. Literally. We're going to change the world. You see, you can't have no power and you ain't got no money. A poor man's word ain't never heard. Now I know some people say, what does that mean? Well, look, the characters, when you look at the Bible, the scriptures, we all quote Proverbs, don't we? Your pastors do, right? Richest man. Rich. You know how much money Solomon had? You want me to tell you? Huh? You want me to tell you?
Yes.
I don't know. I just know it was a lot. But we listen to his words. We consider them to be what? Wise. So I just want to share with you that we are excited about this. And at these meetings, what we'll be doing, Jimmy, you want to go to the next one? And I'm closing out, because I want you to hear from some of the people that are responsible for these initiatives. We read weekly chapters of positive books such as Walking by Faith, Think and Grow Rich, and others. We will be starting Think and Grow Rich this next Monday here. We read for 30 minutes, 45 minutes it is, right, Jimmy? 45. And we read together. There's power in that. Now, I know you may not be that familiar with that, but just give it a try. See what happens. If you were to hear some of the testimonies of the people that have been coming to Mr. Dudley's meetings, the meetings that we've been holding in Winston-Salem, if you were to just hear the testimonies of how their businesses have grown from being a part of a mastermind. See, Mr. Dudley had me on a mastermind call a couple of weeks ago that he's a part of with 7 individuals. Well, I'm number 8 now. I'm fortunate. And in that call, half of them are billionaires and the others are millionaires. And they mastermind. First question they ask to each other, how can I help you? Am I right, Mr. Dudley? How can I help you? And this is the kind of culture that we're going to have to create amongst ourselves. We are going to have to create the concept of family.
That's right.
Right in here. To begin to understand how we lift one another up and support one another in business.
Hello.
See? Imagine that. 50 to 100,000 of us business owners, entrepreneurs, networking for the purpose of becoming successful. You have to have an end in mind. No need to just be playing around and talking. We got to be about doing something. $50 to 100,000 of us. Can you imagine that? Do you want to be a part of that?
Yes, sir.
You want to really be successful? I believe that you're in the right place.
Yes.
Our principles are sound. We're not talking about something that we have to test out. We're talking to you about something that has already happened, that's already worked.
Yes.
We have living witnesses.
Yes.
See, one of our problems is we have a problem understanding the concept of reverence. So as a result, we all always end up going out here on our own, starting something on our own from scratch, and having to figure it all out all over again. See, I followed Mr. Dudley. See, you're ever going to become a great leader, first you're going to have to become a great follower.
All right. That's right.
See, Mr. Fuller carved the path. He got it to a certain point. Mr. Dudley didn't go start all over again. He just went right behind that path. And he carved it a little bit further. Now we coming behind Mr. Dudley and we carving it even further.
That's right.
And we want to take a bunch of young people with us.
Yes.
So that we too often think in terms of 1 year, 5 years, if we get that far. See, when you build a movement, you got to think in terms of 25, 50 years.
That's right.
We're not looking for instant gratification in this thing here. This is a movement. Everyone here that's a part of this foundation, that's leading this foundation, understands the fact that we are in this for the long haul.
That's right.
This is a 25, 50 year project. And we have to give our lives, sacrifice, so that our people will not suffer in the same way 50 years from today. Now that's an unusual concept for us. Well, I ask you, you saw that they just built that Smithsonian, right? Well, how long has the Smithsonian concept been around? All right, 100 plus years. We're gonna build, this is an institution. We're building an institution. See, when you build an institution, it's bigger than the people in it.
That's right. Right.
An institution is built to outlive
That's right.
individuals, but to carry on a philosophy. And we building this institution for that purpose. So I carry on a philosophy of capitalism, of entrepreneurship. And we need your help. We can't do this by ourselves. We need you to be a part of this. We need you to take up your cross. We need some Pauls. See, Paul didn't even know Jesus, but he believed in the concept of Christianity. And Paul went from corner to corner of this earth, preaching what? The gospel of Jesus Christ. And people believed him. Why? Because he believed in it. We are going to change the course of Black America. If you really want to affect change, if you really, in your core, want to do something about some of the stuff that you see you don't like, you got to be able to put pressure on people. Money is what puts pressure on people. Economic power. That's right. You ever been fired before? You ever been laid off before? Raise your hand. You ever been fired or laid off? Raise your hand. You know why? Do you know why? No, because somebody else had that power. They had the economic power. They could fire you. They could lay you off because they could. You want to fire a politician? Get some money. Want to fire a mayor? Get some money. Those are the rules. Whether we like it or not, we live not in a socialist country. We live in a capitalist country. And we cannot live in a capitalist country and act like we socialists.
All right now.
So I want to just thank you. I think I went over that. I thought it was important that you share these words. So I'm going to let Judy take it from here. And Ms. Bobby Banks. Thank you.
How's everybody feeling? Y'all good? Y'all ready? For those of you who came in late, welcome. Very, very happy to see you. Very, very happy to see you. Now we'd like to introduce, or I'd like to introduce Miss Jean Williams, and she'll talk a little bit about the Fuller and Dudley ambassadors.
Good evening. How is everybody this evening? Thank y'all so much. Ooh, look at you. Beautiful. Thank you so much and for coming in and supporting Mr. Davis. I'm Jane Williams, and I'm the coordinator for the ambassador program for the SV Fuller Joel Dudley program. And the reason I'm here this evening is to extend an invitation to you. Invitation to all of you to be ambassadors. Now, what does that mean? It simply means that you're going to support the meetings on Monday nights as much as you can. Come in and help Mr. Davis build this chapter. Also, supporting the meetings that will be held here, you're going to go out and spread the word in the community about what the chapter stands for. Economic empowerment in our community. By becoming an ambassador, you have an opportunity to expose your children and other young people to the world of business and entrepreneurship, something we've not had an opportunity to do with our youth. So that one day they may create an environment to become job makers and not job takers. And being a part of the ambassador program, We know that you want to take part in this opportunity. You aren't going to miss this opportunity, are you? This opportunity to come in and just be a part and just get involved. And before you leave tonight, those of you that are interested in becoming a part of the ambassador program, please see me. You can't miss me with all this hair. I stand out everywhere. I'll be at the back somewhere. Give me your name, and I'll give you my number. You can put my number down right now. In case you feel like the line is too long, I want you to make sure when you go home, you got my digits. 336-926-1777. So give me a call. It's 336-926-1777. And my name is Jean Williams. Or Mr. Davis. Look at all the ambassadors you got. I'm claiming it. I'm claiming you as ambassadors. Thank you so much.
How's everybody still good? Yeah. Pop quiz. Who remembers the hashtag for this event?
Hashtag SB Fuller and Joe
Ooh.
Dudley.
Well, we're gonna go to the left side. For those of you taking pictures of this event, the hashtag is Fuller Dudley, or hashtag #, whatever you want to call it. Fuller Dudley RDU. It's another great way to network for those of you who are on social media. How many years have these meetings been taking place? Y'all don't know how to teach it too, did you? How many years?
80.
80. Oh, good. All right. Let's take one more. How many millionaires did Mr. Fuller commit to creating as part of his vision?
200.
200 plus. Yes. Or 220. Oh, all right. Okay. Let me skip along on this thing. Okay. I'd now like to introduce Denise Granberry, who is the lead 1000 Cosmetologist Outreach. Hello, everybody. Hello. How y'all doing? Good to see y'all here. Y'all excited?
Yes.
Well, my name is Denise. I'm a licensed cosmetologist, and I'm actually the coordinator who's up to get the 1,000 of barbers and cosmetologists. I'm very excited about this because I'm a little old country girl from Okie. Came all the way to North Carolina just to meet Mr. Dudley. And the product. And I'm just so excited, you guys. He's a big inspiration of mine. He's a real reason why I'm successful as a cosmetologist. And I want all the cosmetologists and the barbers to know about it and to be appreciated because he really appreciates us. Okay? And also, if you guys know any hairstylists or barbers, please get with me and let me know. If any barbers or hairstylists are in here, please get with me and let me know. I want to give y'all my number. Okay? So y'all ain't got no excuse. It's area code 832-660-7975. And if y'all have any questions about, me getting 1,000 barbers and stylists, please let me know at the end. I'll get it back too. Okay, that's all. My number is area code 832-660-7975.
What's your name again?
Denise Granberry. Like cranberry, but with a G. Granberry. Thank you, Denise. Can you give her a hand? I would like to add that Tony said about us getting physically fed at Mr. Grover's home, and he was very, very humble with those words. Yeah, those were some really good home cooked meals. And you walked around this side of the table, and then came around this side, and there was lots of great food there. A lot of beautiful people in his kitchen cooking the meal, so that was beautiful to see. And for the people who are non-cosmetologists, can you raise your hand? That's me. So I've grown a lot by coming to these groups as well. Tony was very humble about the weekend with the gala and the the other training opportunities. Amazing energy in the room. I just knew that the lady from the Bahamas was gonna do a cartwheel on stage at any given time. She was on 10. She was great. She really was. Very inspiring. But there are opportunities for everyone to grow. I certainly want to make that apparent so that everyone knows that as well. I would like to bring up the next person, who is Mr. Randolph Reed, who is over the church outreach. Over church outreach.
Well, good afternoon, good evening. The sun is down, so I guess it is evening. I'm Randolph Reed, and I've been a part of this organization and this group for about 3 years now. Both my wife and myself, Dr. Annie Reed. So I'd like to give honor to her too. But let me get right into this. I'm responsible for the church ministry, and meaning I am putting forth a great effort to engage 100 churches. Those churches, I'm going to get them locally, as well as regionally, as well as nationally. We expect to expand nationally, so it won't be 100. Nationally, it'll be quite a bit more. But I need a team of folk to help me out in that effort, okay? We've already got the mosque that's down. Brother Farrakhan has been so helpful, and certainly we know that that's in the bag. However, we do need churches. And so my intention is to reach out to the community. For those of you who attend church or know somebody who attends church, I'm going to give you my telephone number, so you can put me in touch with the key leaders at the churches in your local area, your hometown, or if you have relatives who are in the ministry, who you feel like need to be a part of this effort, then I suggest that you give me a call. My telephone number is 336-888-9056, okay? And my name is Randolph. My last name is spelled R-E-I-D, Reed. I'll also be in the back of the room if in case you need to talk to me further about this initiative. All right?
Y'all acting like I'm not giving y'all these people's names so they come up here. Can you repeat it? Say it one time. See how y'all doing me today. It's okay. Now I'd like to introduce Ms. Sylvia Ramsey, who's going to talk about the 10,000 Mastermind Meeting Special Edition on May 20th of next year, and the 2000 Fuller Dudley Gala that's going to be on the 21st of next year. This is part of the weekend that I told you people were doing. I thought she was going to do cartwheels on stage.
Good afternoon. Good evening. Good evening. Okay, I'm going to church on y'all. I don't feel it, so good evening. All right. Yeah. Okay, I got that out the way. What I'm speaking on is a 3-day event celebrating our illustrious Mr. Joe L. Dudley. We will be celebrating, as you can see, his 80th birthday this year. We had a wonderful 79th. That was our initial, and it's going to be annual. So just look forward. After this, another one's coming, 81 and up until 100, and whatever he stays here with us, we're going to do it. And whenever he's gone, and we don't want to talk about that, we're going to do it and keep on and keep on and keep on because we need this. Okay, roll the tape. Okay, welcome to our Fuller and Dudley Senior Foundation Mastermind Business Meeting as part of this 3-day celebration. And I welcome you for coming out supporting Jimmy and our Raleigh-Durham chapter. The S.B. Fuller and Joe Dudley Senior Foundation, as I said before, the 80th birthday celebration and museum. It's a fundraiser as well. So this will happen Saturday, May 20th, 2017 through Monday, May 22nd, 2017. It's our mastermind meeting, and that's a special edition. That's usually 1 to 5, and it may go over. And then on that Sunday, our 80th birthday celebration and the fundraiser 4 to 12 a.m. midnight. And then our entrepreneur leadership workshop, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. So don't hold us to those times, they could change. We'll move from here. This is just telling about our foundation and how it exists, and our two, Mr. Dudley and Mr. Fuller. So you can move that on. That actually supposedly got out of there. That's Mr. S.B. Fuller. Move it. And Mr. Joel Dudley, who will be celebrating. And this just shows that this is the weekend, just in bold. We can move there. I've talked about that. And this is our road, our meeting on that Saturday morning. Well, it starts at 1, but we're thinking about incorporating maybe some workshops earlier through that morning. So this is our road to 10,000, as our Mr. Guevara said. Last year, we had a road to 1,000. This year, we're going to have 10,000, right? We're going to have 10,000. On May 20th, 17, it's a special edition, as I said. So you'll get to business network, listen to dynamic speakers and successful millionaire business people. Listen to our own Dr. Dudley and other business leaders. We had about 6 last year. And this is our gala celebration. As you can see, we really had a wonderful time last year. Who all attended? I mean, this year, it seems like last year, but it was just in May. Would you agree that it was spectacular? So, come be a part of 2,000 guests. So that's 4 times what we had. We're at 500. We're going to have 2,000. Do you want to be a part of that? This is a history-making weekend. So just be part of it. So you will enjoy the ambiance of the night. You'll celebrate and network with fellow business leaders. Hear the powerful words of a renowned keynote speaker. This year we were honored to have the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And if you see here, we had entertainment. This is our ice sculpture that we had showing Mr. Dudley's 79th birthday. And as you see there, that's the minister. And then our last day is on that Monday. We'll have our workshop. It's an empowerment workshop. We'll have 100 plus on Monday, May 22nd, 2017. And that's the Fuller and Dudley Institute of Entrepreneurship Special Edition Leadership Series event. And it's how to go from $0 to $1 million in your business. And our times are set for 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And we already have it's going to be a success, and that's what we're looking forward to as our events in May. So that is my time, and I thank you for allowing me to be up here in front of you. And I will see. Oh, my name. Ms. Banks said my name, but I'll give it again. Sylvia Ramsur, and my number is, if you want to be part of this, and I hope you will be, 828-320-4396. 828-320-4396. So this concludes my presentation. And any questions, see me back there or give me a call. Thanks for your time.
I'd now like to introduce Mr. Al Kemp, who's going to talk about capitalism and his 20-city tour. He is winning. All right.
Good evening, everybody. Get yourselves a hand, because you don't have to talk. You have to be here. So obviously you're here for a reason. I don't know what that reason is, but you know what that reason. I just want to applaud each and every one of you who did come out tonight. You know, Tony know when I get the mic, but but I ain't gonna be here that long. He gonna take up all my time, and what I'm not gonna do is take up Mr. Dudley time. That's not gonna happen. So let me just be real brief. Capitalism, the only true pathway to freedom tour is going to be from 2017 through 2018. We're going to kick off the tour in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, as Ms. Sylvia talked about, May 20th. From there in June, we're going to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now, the events that just took place in Tulsa wasn't the reason why we chose Tulsa. We had already had Tulsa on the map. Black Wall Street was the reason why we chose Tulsa with 3,000 of our brothers and sisters lost their life for only one reason, one better for themselves to do business amongst themselves, and 3,000 were killed. So they have a celebration there every June, and we're going to be a part of that. We'll get with Jimmy, and Jimmy get with you guys on the actual date and time and location, but that'll be in Tulsa. After Tulsa, we're going to Chicago. I don't have to speak on what's happening in Chicago with our young brothers, but we just feel like economics is a great way and the only way to get these brothers off the street and give them some other options, some other opportunities, and put the guns down. And then from there, we got 22 other cities that we're gonna go to, and I'm not gonna give you a whole list of them, but DC, Miami, we're going to Atlanta, then we're going on the West Coast, we're going to be in LA, Oakland. I mean, you know, I'm just excited. We're going to be in Houston, Dallas, you name it, we're going to be there. And if you know anybody in these cities, contact Jimmy, and we're going to get with whoever and let you guys know, and he'll pass on information. But that's my time. Thank you. Y'all have a wonderful week.
Where are you from, Mr. Kim?
Washington, D.C.
All right. We're going to Miami and Houston, Dallas, y'all. All right. I know how your college days were. Wow. Okay. I'd now like to introduce Ms. Denise Harrington, who's going to talk about the 100,000 S.B. Fuller Book Initiative.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Denise Harrington, the 3D woman. You can remember me as that because I am dedicated, I am determined, and I do have a drive to help individuals turn their dreams into reality, whether it's through education, motivation, inspiration, and transformation. And I am so honored to be a part of the 100,000 books giveaway to get to 100,000 students at 100 HBCUs. And what we plan to do, we plan to inspire, we plan to educate, and we plan to mentor. So if you know of anybody to reach out, if you have an HBCU, you want to help give out these books, please contact me. My number is 919-282-2764. Again, that's 919-282-2764. Thank you.
She can bring it too. She can bring it. You were the smiling face when I went to the Dudley house the very first time in the kitchen that I remember with food. Yeah. I'd like to introduce again Tony, so you can talk about this inauguration event. You're on here again. I'm just saying what's on here. Bill JLB.
One thing I do want to share with you is in the back we have in the final call right after the event, Mrs. Farrakhan and the staff put 3 articles about the event that took place in May. So if you see on there, you see the pictures of the crowd at the gala, and here you see the picture of the 1,000 people in the room. And then if you look back here in the back, you continue on, you see the picture of the people at the gala. It was black tie. When you say it was black tie, it was black tie. I mean, it was a beautiful sight to see. And then you see the pictures of all the different speakers that were part of the event. So we have some in the back. You'd like to get one to read about and read those articles, feel free to do so. Okay, thank you. At this time, I just want to say a few words about the man who we are installing as chapter president here tonight, Mr. Jimmy Davies. I mean, I tell you, every so often you run into some people that are really, that stand out, that are just special. And the one thing that I've learned about Jimmy is that he is the personification of a servant. You know, this man, from the time that I met him and he got involved with what we were doing, I've never seen anyone so committed. Jimmy lives in Durham, North Carolina. Jimmy would drive to our Monday night meetings every Monday night to get this information. Every Monday night, he didn't miss one. And then we started our Saturday morning meetings at 9 a.m. for our ambassadors, those that, the committed ones, because Monday night is for everybody. Saturday morning was for the committed people, the ambassadors that really want, that have embraced this philosophy and want to go out and share it and want to help us with our initiatives. We have our Saturday morning meetings, which we'll be having here too. Jimmy came every Saturday morning. I mean, he is a true servant and also a great businessman. Jimmy is in the process of building his second company. He had one company that was a training company back in the times when the Mac was popular, it was first coming out, and he trained people all over this nation with his organization. He had an organization training people on Macs all over the country. He's now on his second venture, and he's serving as president and CEO of Every Black Event. everyblackevent.com, and he'll tell you a little bit more about that, I'm sure. But he's a person who we really admire, who we really have high esteem for, and we have great respect for, because he's earned that respect. And for those individuals that we place in leadership, there comes a lot of responsibility with leadership. But I tell you, it is an honor and a privilege to call Jimmy Davies my friend, a colleague, and to learn from him how to even be a better servant. And so with that, Mr. Dudley, will you come up, please, sir? We want to honor Jimmy and present him with a plaque. Please come up, Jimmy Davies. We want to honor him with this plaque, which reads, "The S.B. Fuller and Doyle Dudley Senior Foundation hereby declares Jimmy Davies as chapter president of the Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina chapter." Of the Fuller and Dudley Mastermind Business Group on this 26th day of September 2016. Thank you, Jimmy. And at this time, I'd like to have Jimmy to say a few words to us.
First of all, I want to recognize the people that have been helping me here in Raleigh, Durham to put this together. It's not just me. Goddess Webb, raise your hand, Goddess. Goddess owns Vegan Flavor Cafe in Durham. Restaurant. It's been written up 5 times in the last year. So please try out our cafe, Vegan Cafe on 15501 in Durham. Can you see us? Come on down here. Come on down. Cheryl Merritt. Where's Cheryl? Come on up, Cheryl. Cheryl's a real estate agent. She's also my sorority sister. Tamisha Thomas. Now, Tamisha, I tell you, she actually didn't make it. Let's see, you came to the event in May? Yeah, okay, you came to the event in May. But she was so energetic about wanting to help, because really we were just trying to find people that had been to the event, they were familiar with it. But she was so enthused about wanting to help, I couldn't say no. So she's been helping us. She also works with young people. She's a technology specialist, and she's teaching them how to run a TV crew, actually, a film crew.
Wow.
So, Shay, Ray, Shay. Shay's been with Mr. Dudley for a few years. But she's also been supportive and coming out to our meetings. Dr. Bobby Banks, who's been emceeing, she's part of the support team. And Sherry Taylor, where's Sherry? Yeah, somebody go get Sherry. She's out registering people. But I tell you about something about Sherry. I knew Sherry maybe a couple of years ago when I wanted to start everyblackevent.com, and it was a concept. It was just a thought. And she would be collecting these events. And I told her, just keep collecting events. And she kept asking me, well, when are we going to make the website? When are we going to build the website? I said, it's coming. Just keep collecting the events. So she's going to be coming. And then the last, here's Sherry. And Sherry's a commercial realtor. And actually, after I found out about the Mastermind meetings, I told Sherry, and Sherry told Dorian. Where's Dorian? I know he's here. And Dorian is going to be starting the chapter in Charlotte in about another month. And the last is a package deal. We got Audrey Parliament and Audrey Muhammad. You wouldn't be here tonight if it weren't for these two. Parliament is a teacher here. And once he found out what we were doing and that we needed a place to meet, he told me immediately, I think I can help you out. And he's been, almost daily, I get a text from Parliament, we're texting back and forth. Hey, Mr. Davies, I got so many brothers from the nation. I got this coming. I got a videographer. So we've been really, this is the team.
Oh, wow.
What we're going to be doing too right after, we're going to be taking pictures of the team and also Mr. Dudley. I'm not going to keep you long, but I wrote out a few words just to give you a little background about myself and how I got involved in this. But I've been in the computer field, like Mr. Raleigh was saying, I've been in the computer field for nearly 30 years. And I taught people how to use software literally all over the country. Then I started specializing in database development. And actually, people kept offering me jobs, and I took one. I worked at Raleigh, actually not too far from here, near Duke Raleigh Hospital, working for a surgeon developing medical software for a medical company, for a clinic. But last year I decided I really wanted to leave my job and go back into business for myself full time. And that was about June of 2015. Well, and that's when I started planning and working on everyblackevent.com. And that's a website where we list events targeting the African American community of the past, events of the present, and events of the future. Now, around October of last year, I get this email from Dr. John Ray. And he's asking me if I'd like to come to Kernersville to a business meeting and meet Mr. Dudley. My first thought was, where's Kernersville? I'm from Michigan. My next thought was, well, who is Dr. Ray? And I'm ashamed to admit it, but at the time I was like, and who's Joe Dudley? So I almost trashed the email because you get a lot of junk mail. And I thought, well, let me just check this out. I Googled it. I started reading about Dr. Ray. I started reading about Joe Dudley. And I'm thinking, they want me to come meet them? I better find Kernersville. And so I went up to Kernersville, and first I went to John Ray's house before he took me to the first meeting. And I met his wife, Miss Rosie. And also I wanted you all to pray for them because Miss Rosie had a stroke earlier in the year, and then John Ray had one later. They're both in recovery. So just pray for them, because they would be here if they weren't.
All right. I sure would.
But I met with them at their home. We were sitting in the living room just talking, and he was trying to get some information about me and trying to know a little bit about him and Joe Dudley. And I was telling him about my website. And so he asked me, how are you going to get the word out about your website? And I said, well, one thing I plan to do is to tell my fraternity brothers, Phi Beta Sigma. And he jumps up and said, what did you say? And if you know John, he's like very dramatic. Right? And I said, well, I'm going to tell my fraternity brothers about my website to get the word out. And he jumped up and he walked out of the room. And I'm just sitting there with me and Miss Rosie. And she's smiling, and I'm like, did I insult him? Did I say something wrong? And within a minute, he walks back in wearing his Phi Beta Sigma jacket. From that point on, we were in. But also, what he did, he took me to the first meeting. And like Tony said, I've been going to the meetings ever since. Don't want to forget anything that I put together here. One of the things that we learned from Mr. Dudley is that you can achieve anything when you put your mind to it, but there's a price that you have to pay. That's something that my parents also instilled in us in the early age. Basically, if there's a will, there's a way. But this organization practices it. Mr. Guevara conceived of the idea of having 1,000 entrepreneurs to come to Mr. Dudley's birthday party. And with his leadership and Mr. Dudley's blessing and the work of the ambassadors, some that you met tonight and others that you haven't met, because some of them are actually conducting a meeting in Winston-Salem right now.
That's true.
To keep that one going. So we got 2 meetings going on tonight. But we actually made that happen. One other thing that Mr. Dudley always tells us is that ask what you can learn, not what you can earn. So if you learn, you will be able to earn all you ever need. The group emphasizes the importance of networking. That's already been spoken of tonight. You can't do it alone. And this is really the concept of Mastermind. It allows each of us to benefit from what all of us knows. A lot of times when people come to these meetings, they look at the speakers, but your resources are sitting next to you. They're in front of you and behind you. So that's the real power of these meetings. And in fact, let's skip over one thing. One other thing I want to mention too is that some people come to meetings with the thought of what's in it for me. If your sole motivation is to get something from it or to make $1, then you will not become truly successful. But if your real motivation is using your skills and talents to give back To others, the dollars will come. This organization is about giving and about serving.
That's right.
I've seen it practiced in this organization. In fact, if you think about it, it's being practiced right now. Because Mr. and Dr. McQueen, they didn't have to let us use their facility tonight.
That's right.
But they did. And even this meeting and this organization, basically, it was created to help you be successful. And all the ambassadors that you see up here tonight, they don't have to be here. They're not getting paid. They want to see you become successful. So I just feel that as president now of the Raleigh-Durham chapter, these philosophies must become the foundation of this chapter. And that's why I humbly am blessed and honored to accept the position as president of the Raleigh-Durham chapter of the S.B. Fuller and Joel Dudley Sr. Foundation.
I feel like we should all say, "Go, Jimmy, go!" I do want to acknowledge we have a councilman here from Raleigh-Durham, Mr. Corey Branch. If you'd like to come up and say a few words, we certainly would love to hear from you. Can you give him a quick hand? And talk about the power of networks. Corey and I go back to something. We used to play flag football. I used to tackle. Corey, right? But I was happy to, speaking about the power of networks, I was happy to see his name on the program today. So thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I apologize for being late. There was a delivery due at my house and my wife was not there. So someone had to make sure she's happy when she gets home. So I had to wait for the delivery to come in and take care of it. But Mr. Dudley, great seeing you again. You may not remember this, but back in 99, the summer of 99, I was a student at A&T and I was part of the council of presidents. And we had a workshop at your facility in Kearneysville for the council of presidents for the weekend. And from there, I guess God saw fit for me to keep going as far as leadership. But it's because of you and the work you've done that others are able to stand here at my age of 38 and move forward. So thank you for what you have done and what you continue to do. I will not stand before you long because on my agenda, it did say you were trying to get here at least by 8:30. And most of you know when you give a politician a mic, I could actually talk to 8:30, but I'm not going to do that. It's all about business. Every day someone's coming to me about wanting to start a business or what can we do in the African American community, which is the district I represent, District C here in Raleigh, which is 78% African American. And every day I say there are organizations out there doing it, but the key is no one knows about you. Tonight, I'm going to make sure people know about you. I'm going to make sure. So for the business owners that are in here, keep on doing what you are doing. People are watching. People are needing help and assistance. You can do it. It's not going to be easy. You're going to have difficult days. In politics, I know you're going to have difficult days, but it's all about service. It's all about giving back. So I say continue doing what you're doing. Thank you for having the masterminds here in Raleigh. I think it's Raleigh-Durham, but we're in Raleigh. So I'm going to continue to say thank you for being in Raleigh. And for those that are in that other big city here in the Triangle. Thank you for the work you do there. Have a great evening.
That's hilarious. That other big city. Bull city for y'all. Let's go. All right. I think, Jimmy, if you want to come up and do the next bit.
We're gonna let Mr. McQueen just say something real quick, and then we want to hear from Mr. Joe, Dr. Dudley.
Good evening, all. First of all, just thank you for being here for this tremendous occasion. And we feel blessed to be a part of this history-making event where we can honor a man who has been a manifestation of the something that we desperately need in our community is independent economic development.
Yes.
Forged out of our slave past, forged out of our suffering, forged out of the conditions that kind of forced us here today. And so as I was thinking about what I might say, it came to me that we're business people. And all business people, if you are going to be successful, you must have a business plan.
Yes.
Carnegie had a plan. The DuPonts had a plan. Mr. Ford had a plan. Mr. Ford said, a man who thinks he can is correct. A man who thinks he can't is also correct. Doesn't matter what you think, you're correct. And if you're thinking that. So the question becomes, what is the overarching plan? And are we in time with the plan of the day? So here's the plan. This is the perfect plan, the infallible plan. This plan will work regardless to whom or what. Whether you believe it or not, but if you believe it, it will work. And if you don't believe it, it will not work for you. So here's the plan. It is not mine, it is his. His plan says, I will take the bottom rim and make it the top. I will take the tail and make it the head. I will take the stone that the builders rejected and it will become the headstone of the corner. This is the Lord's doing. No, the Lord's plan. And it is marvelous in our sight. So if your business has nothing to do with the rise of our people from the conditions that they are in, then it will fail. But if it is part of his plan, if it is part of his master plan, then it will succeed no matter what happens, no matter who comes against it, no matter how fair it looks in the beginning. That's the plan. That's the infallible plan. And it is in effect right now. And we are part of it. And we recognize it and execute it and carry it out. Thank you.
Go ahead and drop the mic for him.
I think really good. All right.
Quick question, hashtag for any folks taking photos. Oh, y'all passed. Please get your cameras ready. We have said Dr. Joel L. Dudley's name, Joel Dudley Senior's name, several times this evening. We are more than excited to have him here in the Raleigh-Durham area and would love to hear some of his words for the Raleigh-Durham chapter. So please stand to your feet and give Dr. Joel L. Dudley Senior a round of applause.
Jimmy, you said you were gonna do it, and you did it.
That's right.
Wow, I'm just so impressed at what you're doing. Oh, look at all you. Thank you for being, thank you for Tony putting together the great team that you have working with you. It's just awesome. I've been around for a few days. But my smile looks good. This is the lady, dog there, she's a dentist, she takes care of there's just so much to say, and especially in this area. We have done a lot of business here in this Raleigh-Durham area. We still are, and I want to thank all my customers and all the people. I want to thank you because we couldn't have done what we've done without you. So I want to just really thank you. And this program we had to put together. And when we started talking about it from Mr. Fuller, we decided to make a few little changes. And we said, everybody, we're going to build an organization with no presidents, no dues. Because we got a mission, we said that we trust God. And we started this with no money, zero budget. One of the reasons why we did that, because we wanted, I hear people say, oh, we don't have the money. We don't have the money. Well, if you don't have a bag full of money, you need a bag full of faith. And this is all this team did. We didn't have a bag full of money, but we had a bag full of faith. That's what you have to do. So what we're doing here is trying to get people all the things that say you can't do. We said, I am, I can, and I will. Yeah. That's all, because if you build your business, you don't have a lot of options. You have the doubt. When I met Tony didn't have a car at the time. I don't know whether he had a license. Yes, he did. But he said, well, I want to be successful. I said, so I told him one day, I looked out the window, there was cars just coming from everywhere. I said, Tony, all these cars, and you meant to say you can't get one. Just one. And he did. He found a way to get one. So my story for you, you can do it. You can do it. You can be what you want to be. Mr. Fuller taught me this. I started with $10, labor, mental retarded, had a speech impediment. I did it. Now we're in 17 foreign countries. We did it. And I'm so happy tonight too that I have in here, surprise to me, Jackie Stella. Her mother was my first employee. And she started with us 40 years ago, right? Maybe a little longer than that. But that was a great surprise. Thank you, Jackie. So I just want to leave with you, especially Jimmy. Oh my gosh. Jimmy came in quiet, just walking, but he carried a big stick. And that's so, it feels so good to see him. And this team that you put together, Tony. You know, somebody asked me, why are you pushing Tony? I've never seen a man like this young man.
That's right.
He chairs this program, all of it. Jimmy, you just outstanding. Really outstanding.
Yes, yes.
And I was telling you and all you ambassadors stand.
Yes, will all the
Yeah.
ambassadors please stand, all of you from here, all of you stand, and give them a big round of applause. They really dedicate a lot of their time to this, and it's really great.
All these men and women tied their time
And their skill set.
and their skills. All of them. Because we are mad, in a sense, that we seeing all our black on black crime. It's bad. We magnify a little bit what the white policeman's doing, and it is bad what they do. But we just kind of sidetracked. We're not working on these black boys killing black boys. We don't understand what's going on. We can't talk so much about it because some of them get mad or already made up their mind what's going on. But I'll tell you, so many, and I sure, for a minute, I sure like Tony to share that a couple of things. Come on up, Tony. Yeah, in Chicago.
Yeah. What Ms. Dudley's talking about is, for us, it's been a real concern to see what's happening in our community. You know, about the fact that in Chicago, where my good friend Al just came back from, and
He went with the gang.
right, he went to speak to the gangs, some of the gang members there, and then we have Brother Jones, who's worked with some of the gentlemen there also. And last year, 6,000 young black males were killed by each other. 6,000. Now, 100-something of our young black males have been killed by police officers. Is that wrong? Absolutely. Something's got to be done about that. It's not right. But at the same time, 6,000. I asked somebody the other day, young man, came to a meeting with the time and we talked. I said, I want you to answer this. Is the pain of a mother who lost a child that was killed by a police officer, is it not the same pain of the 6,000 mothers who lost their child? See, sometimes we don't take the time to put out. See, we've been desensitized about the killings of us among us, to the point that some of our so-called leaders are now saying, well, people of the same kind kill each other in their community. That's the new trend now. That's the new line. But you cannot, in any sense of the word, believe that it's okay for us to be on a trajectory to 8,000 this year.
Tony, they don't know what's going on. That's 6,000 and compared with 100. So we focus on the 100 and forgot about the 6,000. And this program like this, what we'll do, gonna share with you what's really going on. Really? Nobody's worried about it because we kill of each other.
The thing about this, look, you gotta question a media that gets you all angry up here and then brings you back down by talking bad about the people that they just talked about. The point that we're making is it's all wrong. So we got to be angry at both things. You see what I'm saying? But the only answer to solving both problems is that we have to become economically empowered. You see, Abraham Maslow said, the first thing that any human being has to have are his basic needs. Got to be able to eat. So we can open up as many community centers as we want to. And keep as many of these kids busy as you want to. But if they wake up in the morning, they hungry, they're going to go hunt for some food. Oh, yeah. And they just may be at your door.
All right. Okay. Oh.
You see what I'm saying? So the only way for us to change this is that we have to become economically empowered. All right. And I know that we've been hearing some of these things about what we should do, and we should, do this and do that. But the thing that we have to do is not going to be the easy thing.
Right.
You can get angry. But when you get angry, you got to watch yourself because you can't think. When you get angry, you've been angry before. At your spouse or something, then you said something you weren't supposed to say, and you come back and you apologize. I shouldn't have said that. I was angry. You know what it is, what happens when you get angry. You don't think. And this cannot be a short-term strategy. There's no short-term fix. There's no one day to the next type of fix. It's got to be something that we think through and work hard at it. And the way to work hard at it is for ownership. You don't like what's going on in the block? Buy the block.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
See, I got a house. I own a home, right? I got a 4-year-old in my house. Look, I don't care you black. I don't care you white. I don't care who you are. You come to my property, well, you're going to have a little bit of a problem. Why? Because I own the property. See, when you own the property, you're going to take better care of the property. Because what? You own it. When you don't own it, you don't care. So the only thing, when Mr. Fuller taught us in that book, he taught us it's only one solution. Mr. Dudley taught us. One. We tried everything else, ladies and gentlemen. Tell me what we haven't tried. You tried the protest, right? When is the biggest day of protest? On Friday night. Why? Because the very man that you mad at, you ain't got to report Saturday morning, so you can go protest on Friday. Monday morning, ain't nobody protesting. Why? Because the one that you mad at is where you at. But you ain't that mad at him though. You ain't mad enough to not show up. Because 2 weeks, that check ain't there, you got another problem, and it won't be the protest. I'm just saying, we talk we're not saying that there's nothing wrong with, there is a problem. We're talking about what? Solution, the right solution. You know, just like somebody the other day said, well, we're going to boycott Chick-fil-A. All right, well, I'm just going to talk about that for just 1 second. Okay, every time I go to Chick-fil-A, I see a lot of black kids working at Chick-fil-A. They're mannerable, they're nice, they learning a lesson on how to customer service. You want to boycott them, okay? Well, then you shut them down, shut the business down. Now you tell me who's gonna hire them?
That's right.
Are you gonna hire them? Are we in a position to hire them after they don't have a place to go to work?
That's right.
Where that single mother is dependent on that little bit of check from that young lady or that young man? You see, you have to be very careful. There is a law that Mr. Fuller and Mr. Dudley taught us. It's called the law of justice. You got to trust in that law. You got to trust God. Justice is the universal law that will adjust all matters. And man will rely upon it and cease from fighting mentally and physically for his rights. A man's rights are secured by his thinking.
Yes.
So man thinketh in his heart, so is he. See? You got to be very careful. We can't blanket. See, if we do exactly as some of the people do that are doing wrong, then we just as wrong. Because if a businessman, regardless of race or creed, hires our people, when at the end of the day, if you're in business, you understand payroll. When you got to meet that payroll, he's not saying, you know what, I'm going to pay this white one, but I ain't going to pay this black one. See, when he got to meet that payroll, he's got to meet the payroll for what? Everybody. And you can't punish somebody that ain't did you wrong.
That's right.
If you're going to punish somebody that did you wrong, but you shouldn't even do that, but don't punish the one that didn't do you wrong. Because when you do that, it comes back on you.
That's right.
I'm not saying this because I'm just saying it. It's the law. You know what the law is. Huh? Christians.
That's right.
We know what the law is. So we have to be wise and do it the hard way. See, we don't want to do it the hard way. We don't want to sacrifice. Huh? We say we have faith in God, but we won't walk off that job owned by that white man. We don't want that. That's your God.
Well,
because that's who you wake up every morning having faith in.
take your time, brother. Take your time. Well.
Say, yeah, you know, I believe in God. No, that is your God.
Well.
Because if you believed in your own God, in the real God, you can walk off.
That's right.
And know that the God that you really believe in will supply your needs. Now look, I'm not telling y'all to get out of here tomorrow. And then be mad at okay, Jimmy, don't come here looking for Jimmy, for my Jimmy. I quit my job, now I don't know what to do. What you gonna do for me? Now, don't do that. Look, the point that we're trying to make, the point we're trying to get you to understand is this, that we have to begin to teach our children differently. You see what I mean? I'll give you one more illustration, then I'm gonna let it go because instead of asking to do this. Now, we were talking about this on the way here. So you are an athlete, you got an $80 million year, $80 million for a year contract. $80 million and the best you can do is kneel because you think something wrong. And some of you, you're all right with that. Well, I don't agree with that. You got 80 million, you go buy a company. You want to make a real statement? Go buy a few blocks. Get together, pull all that money that you'll make and buy something and hire the kids in the community. Then go back and tell that. Because when you kneel, who's going to change because you kneel? Tell me. See, when you kneel, the only people that you get behind you are the people that already believe what you believe in. You don't change not one individual that doesn't believe in that. You cannot legislate anybody into liking you. You can legislate them into tolerating you, but you cannot legislate them into liking you. Now somebody tell me that's a lie.
Well.
We've been legislating all these years. Aren't there those that still don't like us?
Yeah, that's right.
Hmm?
That's right.
We got to think, ladies and gentlemen. We got to think. And our thinking can't be short term.
Hello.
It can't be instant gratification.
Well.
It's got to be long term. And that long term is tough. It's tough to decide you're going to start your own thing. It's tough to accept the fact that you may fail. It's tough to make those type of decisions. But if you want to save some people's lives, you got to save yours. This is what Mr. Fuller was about. This is what he got criticized for. This is what he got beat up by his own for. They boycotted Mr. Fuller because he's speaking what I'm speaking and Mr. Dudley speaking about right now. 50, 60 years ago, they boycotted him because this is what he talked about. But 50, 60 years later, turns out he was right.
Yes.
All right? So we got to change our mindset. We got to be careful having our young men going out here in the midst of people that don't care nothing about other people's property. You can't do that. That ain't right. And you got to understand something. This face recognition image thing now, they can look at a helicopter from the top and they see everybody. They know who you are, what you're doing, what's your name, everything. And your son will one day walk to that airport. They'll tell him that he can't go through because he's a terrorist. And you didn't even know it. We gotta know what's happening. You gotta think about this thing. Nothing stops us here. 5 years from today, going out and buying a $25, $30 million company. Nothing stop you. And employing some people. Imagine that. All over this nation. Hasn't been done. But it can be done. And it will be done.
Yeah.
What I just want to say, we talked this information, we got it on tape. And I got some tapes back there you want to give them. And who's selling the tapes? Okay, the small tapes? Pay yes. So if they buy one, I give them 1 free. Yes, so I want to let them know that. So it's good listen. It's $10 for one, and I'm gonna give you the other one free.
And you got the SB Fuller book back there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you purchase a SB Fuller book. Mr. Dudley will sign it for you today. So it's a good read. And also make sure that you share it. Don't just buy it. We don't want you to buy anything. We don't want you to purchase anything to listen to unless you're gonna read it and unless you're gonna unless you're gonna listen to it. We really don't. It's not like we want you to buy something just to buy it. We really want you to get engaged, to get engrossed in a new way of thinking. a new way of doing, a new way of strategizing, a new way of protesting. You see what I mean? That's what it's about. And we're going to take this message all over this nation and all over the world, because there are us in other parts of the world. And this is our mission. And we need you to help us. Thank you.
All I want to say is, I read my home book 5 times in 1 month.
Yeah. So get that I am, I can, and I will, walking by faith too. Okay?
Anybody feel like doing cartwheels? So we're going to wrap up now. Y'all see, I didn't get Mr. Dudley's phone number. Oh, you're welcome to have mine, though. 980-224-2344 for Pillar Consulting. Thank you so much, Dr. Dudley and Tony, for those inspiring words. I want to introduce Cheryl Merritt, who's our sponsor for the evening, and then we will wrap out the rest of the event.
You also have some young people here, some scholars from NCCU. Where you stand? Are they here? Stand up. Okay. Fantastic. We want you to keep on coming and bring others with you, okay? All right, fantastic.
Good evening, everyone. Again, I'm Cheryl Merritt. I am one of the ambassadors here at the Raleigh-Durham chapter, and I'm just delighted that all of you could come tonight. I'm really excited about the new opportunity that we have here with Jimmy as our president. And we have some refreshments for you right outside this door once we adjourn, so if you'll stop by and get something. And we also have some vendors at the back of the room and along the hallway as you're walking out. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, just got a few announcements, like Cheryl mentioned. There's refreshments just outside the door. Please, we've got some vendors in the back and also in the hall. I just want to ask you to please visit by the vendor booths. And what we do to help the chapter raise money, the vendor booths are $40. So any entrepreneur can have a vendor booth to sell your wares, whatever, or product or service.
Every Monday night.
Every Monday night. Every Monday night we'll have tables available if you want to purchase a vendor booth to sell whatever it is, what type of business you have. Also, next week, like I said, the format's going to be a little different. We're going to be reading, the book we're reading is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. We'll be reading probably about 20 pages, and then we'll be studying and discussing it. And then we will also have a guest speaker who you got a little trailer tonight, Mr. McQueen, who is, I don't know if you said, but he's the, I guess, president and CEO of Torchlight Academy here, and this is his wife, Dr. McQueen. So they actually own and run Torchlight Academy. He's going to be our guest speaker next week. And then the week after that, I believe, is our own Bobby Banks is going to speak. So each week we're going to have guest speakers also, as well as learning and studying entrepreneurship. The only other thing I just wanted to say is that we really, really want you to continue to come. Every Monday night, rain, shine, snow, it doesn't matter. 4th of July, if it's Monday night, we meet. I'm serious. And actually, I mean, we met on Memorial Night. If it's a Monday night, we take business seriously. 6 o'clock, this location, every time. Glad you came. So also, one last thing, my number, 919-265-8045. It's 919-265-8045. My email is Jimmy, Jimmy, @every.black, EVERY.black. No comment. Jimmy @every.black. And the only other thing I was going to have is Mr. Robinson come up
And say a prayer.
and say a prayer.
Okay, all right, come on, Dudley. Mr. Robinson. One more thing that Mr. Dudley also
for those of you who are interested, these years now, all he wants to do is just help those that are business people that are interested in developing themselves, and want to grow their businesses. He spends all his days now just sitting down with people and would-be entrepreneurs and teaching you. And you know, his delegate gets paid up to $10,000 a day, but he wants to do something where he'll just charge you $100 an hour just to help you. Don't need the money. He ain't trying to make no money. He just wants to make sure that you appreciate what you know, you got to give something. You got to put something in order for you to appreciate it. So I want to give you his number, and you can call him directly. He doesn't mind you be calling him directly. Now, don't waste his time, though, okay? Don't start to get on talking over the phone for an hour, 2 hours, and then, you know, let's make sure that we are really serious about this. So let me give you his number, okay? You ready?
Yes.
Mr. Dudley's number is 336-575-6314. Okay? So you want to learn how to, you have a specific situation with your business and you want to grow it, you know, I'll be telling you who can help you. Now, there's one more thing I just wanted to say before Mr. Robinson goes out. Look, this is a meeting for the community. Now, community is comprised of good people and some people that ain't so good. So there's gonna be some people in here that sometimes come with scams and all kind of stuff and gonna say that it's the SB Fuller. Hey, I belong to the SB Fuller and George Dudley City Foundation, and gonna tell you about something and tell you that it's good because they belong to this thing. I'm gonna tell you right now, before you agree on anything or you're not so sure about something that's not tangible. What do I mean by tangible? If you can't touch it and feel it, you call Jimmy Davies as the chapter president, and you ask him, what do you think about this, Mr. Davies? Because we don't want you to agree to something that doesn't pan out for you, and then you're upset, and we don't want anybody taking advantage of you. So if it's not a tangible thing, you check with Mr. Jimmy Davies. If he needs to, he'll check with me. And if I need to, I'll check with Mr. Dudley. But we want to preserve this. We have to protect it.
That's right.
You have to protect it because it's yours. You have to take care of it. And there are vultures everywhere.
Amen.
Just like they are some pretty birds. All right? So we just want to make sure that we put this disclaimer out here so that you understand, because we've already seen it before. People come out and say, hey, I'm part of the SB Fuller. Oh, I know Mr. Dudley. Don't even know him. But you met him, don't mean you know him. So let's make sure that this is not how we operate. Do we understand?
Yes, sir.
All right? Okay? All right. Thank you so much.
Just want to also tell you, give yourself a round of applause for coming out tonight. Next, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Donnie Robinson, and he's going to close us out with prayer. He's also going to be the chapter for the Fayetteville chapter.
Thank you. Let us stand. I want you to look at someone close to you. Tell them when we can see, we can see beyond where we are. You and I can make a difference. Let us pray. We have a special prayer we use in the last repeat it. We need to be talking to someone who can say that. But we can see.
bad that surround us.
All the good and the bad that surround us.
You and I can make it better.
Can make it better.
In Jesus' name we pray.
In Jesus' name we pray.
I didn't do it.
Okay, what's happening?
Thank you so much. Appreciate everything.
Yeah, that's gotta be good. But also check because I heard. Okay, you know what's going on.
You don't get a day named after the song, right? The mirror? The mirror bone. Yeah, James. I remember this before I was on that. Yeah. So, I'm gonna put both of y'all on my wall.
That works.
I got all of them on my wall. Yes. So you want on the wall. You want on the wall.
Hey, get fried, bro. Get fried. Class of 2003. You look to you. Class of 2000. Yeah, she's a freshman there. Like,
Make it right.
It's also like ROTC. So, I probably saw you were a freshman. I was on my way out. Yeah, so I'm so congratulations. I appreciate it. You know what I mean? Okay. So also, on the class, so how you doing, sir? So yeah, because you notice how we so the reason why that little part was it's a whole thing. Now, you want to work something out with I really think we might be able to have to split. You know what I'm saying? So before I got on, it might be the gas and those folks but this is the city. Before I got on council, it was tonight. So you know what fire station is? That fire station is because it's late. I saw the map. Radius, there's some gaps in response time, and that's why they want to move the air to help. Because then they can go out because we keep going. So the price that city I went to buy for they weren't hearing. So that's why we also on